And we have a report today from Board of Supervisors meeting of June 11th, the Supervisor Richard Forster. And first up on the agenda, the board looked at our providers for our 457B plan. Currently, the board has Great West and the Hartford with affiliation with an Edward Jones representative, Donnell Dix, as the representatives. The Hartford is now becoming Mass Mutual, so that's what I'm going to refer to them as. But Great West and Mass Mutual, multiple representatives were at our meeting. ING is another company that came in and actually looked at the plans and told the county that your employees are paying way too much for the administration of these plans, as high as 1.5%. which is at least 0.75 basis points over what the market is charging, or as high as even 100 basis points. So really, this has been going on for 17 years. As the Great West rep said, you know, this was the industry standard. Well, it was the industry standard 17 years ago. I would expect that our representatives that look after our county's welfare to have come in 5 to 10 years ago and said, we're charging you too much money. But instead, they kept making the money and kept soaking the Amador County employees. That's all what it comes down to. So we are reviewing these contracts with the intent to go to one sole provider for the employees' 457 plans. And the board left it yesterday that they want to have a series of meetings with the employees so they can better understand the situation and review the existing contracts in place. It's funny, every time we have a meeting, our existing providers, at least one of them says, I can do better than what I've put on the table. Well, you know, this gets old after a while, seeing the disingenuous nature of at least one of our reps. You should do what's best for the employees. You should not be prodded by someone saying you're charging them. Next up, we had ACES Waste Services. And good news for the ratepayers. We have rate decreases across the county. Not substantial, but you know what? A rate decrease is a rate decrease. Sometimes you, previously, we averaged these in and held them over so that when a rate decrease came along, it made it lower. But you know what? Our feeling is that if there's a rate decrease and it's earned, then it should be implemented. Franchise Area 1 is a minus 1.65, and it goes all the way down to Franchise Area 2, 3, and 4. Franchise Area 3 being the largest, 2.3% rate decrease. Transfer station at Buena Vista is seeing a 1.4% decrease. The increase at Pine Grove Transfer Station of 0.13%, Paul Molinelli said it's so insignificant that they're not going to implement that. So really, the Molinellis and their team do a great job in running ACES, and Paul Sr. is really a stand-up guy. So I respect him, and he's a good businessman, looks out for the people too. Something that everyone should be aware of, you know, we talk about things getting rosier. They're not getting a lot better in Amador County yet as far as construction and employment, but we anticipate the property taxes to be going up a little bit, our revenue from property taxes to be going up a little bit next year. Unfortunately, PERS has come out with a new policy, a smoothing policy, and it's smoothing for PERS. It's not smoothing for anyone else. We anticipate in year one an increase of $200,000 to $300,000 that we'll have to put in. And this is basically because of the market in general. But I got to say, in big part, it's because of PERS mismanagement. It's because of PERS building a Taj Mahal for their location in Sacramento. It's going to be an average 1.34% every year compounded. So next year it'll be $400,000 to $600,000. Within 4 to 5 years, we anticipate it being over $1 million for the smoothing policy. So we're not very happy with that smoothing policy. The board did approve a budget yesterday. We're going to hold it over till September, as we normally do, to make sure the state budget gets passed, as it looks like it is. Normally it's 2 to 3 months in arrears, and it's a balanced budget too at the state level, with a lot of tax increases included in it. But the proposed budget, there's still a $600,000 gap between expenditures and revenue. We anticipate that getting better next year, although we got to take into account that smoothing policy. Property taxes are anticipated to increase by 3%. the Amador Council on Tourism and Chamber of Commerce were fully funded through a couple of mechanisms. The board implemented cost savings from our federal lobbyists and a couple other ways, but full funding for those organizations. Also, at the state level, we can look forward to the legislators, and there are at least 8 bills being sponsored right now to lower the voter threshold for local votes down to 55%. Right now, most of it is 2/3, unless the general tax, which is 50%. There is one segment of education that can go for 55%. But looking at transportation, school, parcel taxes, libraries, economic developments, and then public safety. So we'll stay tuned for that in the future. If you want any more information on this or anything else, 223-6470. And this is Supervisor Richard Forster. We're going to a break.